We have to start from the beginning. And the first exercise in our foundational mat series is breathing. Breathing is a requisite to life, and it influences how we move. So let's go through some types of breathing and how to see this in your client. All right, so to start, we're coming down to the mat. So coming down to the mat helps decompress the core area, and it allows us to breathe easily. But you can breathe in any way, right? We're breathing in everything we do in life. So we do it seated, we do it standing, we do it lying down. But let's start lying down first. Just in this hook-like position, having the feet on the floor, hip width apart here. And take your hands, bring those fingers around the front of the ribs and the thumbs around the back side. Right? From here, take a nice deep breath and just notice where the breath goes. And then take your hands and move them down to your abdominals. Take another deep breath and see where they go. And now move your hand, one of them up to your chest and one on your abdomen. And take another inhale. All the way to the point where it feels like you're sipping in that breath and you can't get any more in. And then exhale. So, where did you feel that breath? A lot of times it goes into the belly for some people. Sometimes it's in the upper chest, and sometimes you're going to feel the ribs really expand, and maybe towards the back of the body as well. Right? So that's that full, like, diaphragmatic breath. Everything's expanding. So in Pilates and movement, we end up working to get an intercostal breath is what we call it. You're working to have this lateral costal movement and the ribs move outwardly and the abdominals are engaged during the movement, or the breath rather. Now, so the hands, let's bring them back around the ribs here. And we're thinking about our abdominals and getting that core to engage, right? And you take another deep breath. And feel those ribs expand. And exhaling. Right, another one more inhale. Just feel your ribs expand. Think about just pushing into the ribs, the hands. Ribs are pushing into the hands. And exhale. So thinking of that external influence here, the feeling of the ribs pushing into the hand makes you take the breath where it should go instead of thinking about all the other core engagement that has to happen. Just think about what you need to do. Take a nice inhale, let the ribs push into the hands. And then exhale, let them close down. I like to think of them as the ribs as an umbrella here. And we want to make sure our umbrella is working on all sides. Take a nice deep breath again. Feel your umbrella expand, maybe in the front, the sides, the back ribs opening up. And then exhale. Again. All right, let's do one more like that, letting our umbrella open. Nice deep breath. And then exhale. Collapsing down, closing your umbrella on all sides. All right, so now let's think about some core engagement to facilitate our breath, because we definitely want our core to work, right? All parts, our pelvic floor, our deep transverse abdominis that cinches our waist in, we want that to work for us during this. And our ribs, our obliques, our intercostals, all of those are working, right? To help depress those ribs and to help elevate the ribs so that they expand. Now, starting off from the bottom, we have our pelvic floor. So you're thinking about urethra, vagina, anus are working for the pelvic floor. And you're stopping wind from coming out, you're stopping the urine from coming out, and everything starts to pull in. And right there you feel the low belly turn on. You start to feel the waist cinch in a little bit more. And then holding that, it might feel impossible to breathe. Take your hands back to your ribs. Take a nice inhale. And you're going to feel the ribs expand a little bit more as the abdominals pull in a little deeper. The pelvic floor is pulling into the body. Another deep breath. Pelvic floor, low belly. A nice magic carpet ride. Get the pelvic floor, transverse abdominis. Deep inhale, ribs are pushing into those hands. And then exhale. Great. So that's our thought for the rest of our breathing is what we want. All right, so let's come up to a seated place. And we can do our breath here. So same thing, you can take your hands, bring them around the rib cage, and taking a nice deep breath, feeling those ribs expand. You can always change the placement of the hands, noticing if your belly's coming out. So you want the ribs to open. Good, one more like that. Great. Another place I like to find breath and the core is on the side. So finding that side body all the way down, not focusing so much on form here, right? So just relaxing the head down. And from here, you can just let the abdominals go. Hand can come to the belly. On the exhale, once your pelvic floor, low belly, everything pulls in. Okay. And this inhale, let it go into the belly again. And then exhale, pull it in. You can even use your hand to push it in. Right? Inhale. Good. And exhale. Okay. And holding that, you can still breathe. It's nice to find the contraction of the core and then focus on just breathing naturally while that happens. Because it can feel like you can't breathe because that corset's pulling so tight. And taking a nice breath. Maybe palpating your body and feeling. And then exhaling. And another place that is great to find breath is in a quadruped position. So finding that all fours place. And finding that cat-cow is a wonderful place to find the expansion and opening of the ribs in the back. So nice wide fingers, knees apart, feet down. Take a nice inhale, round the spine up, tuck the tail. Feel the ribs stretch, open in the back. Good, and then inhale, let the heart go forward. Sit bones reach towards the ceiling. Abs are still pulling in. Exhale, round. Let's find that change of breath. Holding that stretch, feel it here. Just keep the stretch, and then take a breath. Feel the ribs open up even more. And exhale, holding that C curve. Take another deep inhale. And then right back into that neutral place. One more place to find it is child's pose. So sitting back here, you can let the hands go forward if you like, or they can come back towards the feet to give those shoulders a rest. And it'll make it easier to palpate. But this is a great place to take clients so that they can feel the expansion of their breath. Because when they take that inhale, they'll notice if it goes into their belly because it's going to push into their thighs. And take a nice deep breath. And then exhale, noticing where that breath goes. Engaging the pelvic floor, the core, take an inhale. Feel the back ribs expand. Good, let's do one more. Pelvic floor, transverse, and breathe. If you do have the mobility, you can always bring your hands to your ribs here, which is also a great place to put your hands for your clients. And then take a nice deep breath and say, breathe into my hands. Opening up those back ribs. And then exhale. Let's do one last one. Take a nice deep breath. And let it go. All the way down. Good. Now let's come up. So there you go for a little breathing. Now, when you start to get into the movement, we are working towards that intercostal breath, as I mentioned before, so that your core can remain engaged and you can breathe into your ribs and your lungs here.